What if I told you the blueprint for the basketball we all watch today wasn't cooked up in some analytics lab in the last decade? What if it was created by a forgotten innovator all the way back in 1990? Well, we're about to uncover the secret history of the game we think we know so well.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that sounds completely nuts. Could a college team from 1990, playing a shorter game with a shorter three-point line, actually score at a faster pace than today's most elite, high-speed NBA offenses? It seems impossible, right?
Well, believe it or not, the answer is a shocking yes, and it's not even close. Back in 1990, the Loyola Marymount Lions were scoring an incredible 3.06 points for every single minute of game time. To give you some perspective, that scoring rate just blows past the 2023 Sacramento Kings, a team that set the all-time NBA record for offensive efficiency, and even the legendary 2016 Golden State Warriors.
And that insane scoring rate led to this monster number, 122.4 points per game. That is still the NCAA Division I record. And let me just remind you, they did that in a 40-minute college game, not a 48-minute NBA game. Just imagine.
So you've got to be asking, who was the mad scientist behind this offensive chaos? It was a Shakespeare-quoting, kind of professorial coach named Paul Westhead. And that leads us to the real question we're digging into today. How on earth did he pull this off?
The answer was a philosophy of what you could call orchestrated chaos. He simply called it the system.
The system was basically basketball in hyperdrive. It was a non-stop run-and-gun attack. It was built on relentless fast breaks, full-court pressure that was designed to create even more offense, and one simple rule: take the first good shot you can find, especially if it was a three.
The rules of the system were both incredibly simple and totally radical. First, you press full court after every single made basket. No exceptions, no breaks. Second, get the ball past half court in 3 seconds. And third, you have to take a shot within 10 seconds. No walking the ball up, no slow half-court sets, ever. So what did it actually feel like to play against this whirlwind? I love this quote from Hall of Fame LSU coach Dale Brown after his team barely survived a 148-141 shootout with LMU. He said, "I felt like I was one sock in the dryer, going around and around." I mean, that just perfectly captures the kind of dizzying, relentless pressure it created. But here's the key thing. This wasn't just some wacky college gimmick. It was a legitimate blueprint that Westhead took to the professional ranks, proving its power over and over again. You can trace the lineage of this idea so clearly. It starts in 1990 with the original LMU team. The very next year, Westhead takes it to the NBA's Denver Nuggets. Then, its core principles famously pop up with the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns. And finally, he took the whole thing to the WNBA, and that's where it reached its ultimate form. With the Phoenix Mercury, the system was perfected. They didn't just break the league scoring record, they absolutely shattered it. They made 100-point games, which were once a rarity, a common occurrence. And most importantly, they won the 2007 WNBA championship. This also gave Westhead a really unique distinction. He's still the only coach in history to win a championship in both the NBA and the WNBA.
And all of this brings us right to the heart of this story. As Miami Heat coach Erik Spoelstra, who actually had to play against LMU in college, said, Coach Westhead's system was 30 years ahead of its time. So, what did he see that nobody else did?
He saw the future. He was practicing analytics before anyone was even calling it analytics. His instincts, his gut feeling for the game, predicted the entire data revolution that would later reshape the sport.
This comparison is just fascinating. Westhead's simple instinct to play ultra-fast is exactly what modern analytics now calls maximizing pace and possessions. His idea to shoot lots of threes is the core principle behind increasing a team's effective field goal percentage. And that relentless press? It was just an intuitive way to generate high-value points off turnovers.
Westhead understood, purely by instinct, what mountains of data and spreadsheets would later prove to everyone. Creating more possessions and maximizing the value of the three-point shot is basically the mathematical formula for a dominant offense.
And he wasn't just dabbling with the three-point line. Get this. In a 1990 NCAA tournament game against the defending champions, Michigan, LMU hit 21 three-pointers. 21! That was a tournament record and a number that was just absolutely unheard of at the time.
When you put it all together, it builds this powerful, lasting legacy. It really makes the case that Paul Westhead wasn't just some quirky footnote in basketball history, but a true Hall of Fame-level innovator.
The sheer scale of his impact is just written all over the record books. His teams were responsible for some of the highest scoring games in the history of the NCAA, the NBA, and the WNBA. For one single system to produce those kinds of offensive explosions across 3 different leagues is just unprecedented.
Just how extreme could it get? Well, in 1989, LMU was part of a game where the two teams combined for 331 points. It still remains the highest scoring game in Division I history. Just wild.
And the players who were in it, they absolutely loved it. LMU star Bo Kimball called it a dream offense. WNBA legend Diana Taurasi said, "If you believe in a system, there's no other way to play basketball." But maybe Corey Gaines, who played in the system and later coached it, summed it up best. "We run everything we did at Loyola because it works."
Remember Dale Brown, the coach who felt like a sock in the dryer? He later said that if Paul Westhead had just stayed in the college ranks, he would have single-handedly revolutionized the game.
But here's the thing. The revolution did happen. It just took a couple of decades to catch on. The fast-paced, three-point-heavy, space-the-floor game that defines modern basketball is the very same world that Paul Westhead imagined all the way back in 1990.
It leaves us with one final, fascinating question to chew on. If the future of basketball arrived 30 years early and most of the world missed it, what game-changing innovations might we all be overlooking right now?